Yeah, so Sven, and then Ari, My Little Pony 69XX, Maxi Poo, Zonode, Rudy, Fruz, Steam Dan, Sabi, Solarian, Hot Fizz, Tommy, Archie, Merritt, Schvex. You know, Zonode this is his first Tier 2 race. He's been a Tier 1 driver his entire career, except for now. And he qualified 5th. I feel like he should be higher if he was in Tier 1. I don't know.
Wait, though. Hold on.
What?
Isn't Steam Dan in Tier 1?
No, he is. He just does it a lot. No, yeah, but Leon had a league race, or race ban today, and so that's what Steam did, was in Tier 1 for.
Oh, I thought Steam Dan was in Tier 1.
No, he demoted himself. Sven being on pole gives him a good run for this podium, making it another podium for a lot in a row. I don't know how many, because Zono didn't say. Zono, get on that, dude. Red Bull's kind of in shambles today, having P5 and P7 starts. I guess second best pairing on the grid, because McLaren has a 1.6, so not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, I think they can do a good job. Zonon has a good race pace.
Right, we are starting our formation lap. Second ever formation lap in ASL history. First one was in the Tier 1 race. Fun fact. Aston versus Haas is apparently important. Haas is a P2, a P9, while Aston sits at P8 and P12. Kind of rough for them. They're going to have to really kick it into high gear for this. And then apparently Alpine and Merc. Alpine has a P3. And there's not a Merc on track. VCarb versus Williams. VCarb currently has a P14 and Williams has a P10. So Merritt has a little bit of work to do before he can catch Solarian. Rip. Red Bull versus Ferrari. Red Bull 5-7, Ferrari 11-15, so I don't think that is a rivalry. I don't know what Zoned was thinking. That is not a rivalry. Cold Brochi versus Vix Red. Well, neither of them are racing today, so... There you go, Zoned. I did your frickin' commentary notes. So, two-stop looks like it's going to be the projected strategy here today, although you can get away with the one-stop. I did it in practice. I would have done it in the race had I have not been cucked with the rain and losing my wings and penalties and everything, but... Looks like Archie has fallen down in the pack. Who's that in front of him? Schvex? Something that I didn't realize until recently was they turn off the line on formation lap when you get close to the line. And so it was a little bit interesting trying to find breaking points for that. Here's the strategies once again. Alrighty, the grid is lining up. Rudy has a bad start. So is Fru. Does anyone else? Nope. Alrighty, that means start of the Grand Prix. Watching and waiting for these lights. Sven on pole position. We got 5 red lights, and for this Belgian Grand Prix, they go out and away we go. Does not look to be as chaotic right now as it was in Silverstone. These 3 going 3 wide, another 3 wide by the McLarens and Red Bulls. I think that was a wing that I saw be broken in the back here. I don't know exactly whose end plate that was. It was definitely someone's. Archie is ghosted. I'm trying to find out who that was. Hot Fizz up in position, so Svex and Hot Fizz 10-11. Rudy gets a position off of Zonode. McLaren up the order. Ari dropped back from being in that P2 spot. And
he's back on P3 though.
So yeah, Maxi Poos found himself quite a bit up. Oh, Rudy! What happened to Rudy? Rudy down into P12 now as he loses the position to his...
He lost the wing.
Oh, his wing is gone. Dami has reports that Rudy's wing is gone. I'm trying to look.
He misses an end plate.
Yeah, look at that. His end plate is gone. A bunch of cars go wide there. Watching Merritt pass the Ferrari to put himself in a Ferrari little sandwich there. Dan is looking at this Red Bull. What can Dan do here? He's going to have to keep pushing to maybe try to get that position, but it's still early in the race. Anything can happen. Solarian and Svex. Solarian has to back out. Very smart there, but Merritt all over the back of Solarian now. Is he going to burn, try to get this position, put himself in even greater points off the first lap? But he's going to come, and his team principal is going to be alongside him, trying to make the overtake done and dusted. And then Rudy gets it, but Rudy, what is Solarian cutting the white line to get into the pits? And Rudy goes with him. So Svex is our biggest winner right now in P8. Started P15 in the very back. I wonder if Svex had a quali ban. Probably not. Hot Fizz gets past Tommy. I wonder if Tommy is just trying to get the DRS. I just forgot what the word for DRS was. But it doesn't matter because they both get it off of Merritt. Merritt does not have the DRS. Going to lose several positions. He's going to have Tommy behind him looking for this overtake. This side-by-side battle. That is clean racing, guys. Thank you, Barrett, for showing us some clean passing, clean racing. Tommy sitting behind these two. What can he do? He's going to have to maybe pull out a big move here. A little bit of traction loss for Hot Fizz in front of him. Doesn't lose him too much. Rudy gets past Solarian out of the pits as the two enter the chicane. Ari still struggling for pace here. Almost out of the DRS. It's going to be close if they can get in the DRS. Loses with a big snap. That's not going to be good for Ari. And Ari slips out of DRS. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I don't know what for. So Sven leads the race away on these hards. Then Maxi Poo on the mediums. My Little Pony on the mediums. Falling behind the Kick Sauber reserve. Both of these guys are reserving. A little bit of snap for My Little Pony. Ari on the hards. Zonode on the hards. Fru on the hards. As Fru and Zonode, the two teammates swap positions. Zonode tapping to the back of his teammate.
No.
Did he lose anything there? No, he did not. Probably just his sense of worth. Steam Dan looking at the back of the Red Bulls. Can he get a good run heading up to Eau Rouge? The mediums are going to die quicker if you can't sit on them for longer. Svex holds out in P8 for the Ferrari. Are they? Fru and Zonode, the two teammates who just got demoted into Tier 2, looking and fighting for each other. Fru has been in the Tier 2 division for a while, so he is used to stuff like this, but Zonode behind him. This is his first race in Tier 2. His debut for Tier 2, not having the greatest pace. There's a Ferrari that was maybe having a little bit of trouble of Hot Fizz, but I want to go back to this Red Bull battle. Zonode losing a little bit of time to Fru. Is Fru the faster driver out of these two, I wonder? Dami, do you think you're faster than Fru? Is Fru faster than you?
I don't know. Maybe if we put it on a test, we would know, but I don't want to like comment anything about it if I don't see it on the track.
That's fair. Steam Dan still behind these Red Bulls who have been battling for a while. Steam Dan definitely wants to make this move, get some good points for the first time in a while after getting some heavy penalties slapped on him in the past couple of races. Another yellow flag out. Is that for yet another Ferrari? Svex is lagging all over the place. I don't know if that's what it is. Sven just pulling away even more. The gap is 4.5 seconds now. I think Sven needs to be put into Tier 1, but I don't know if he can make the Tier 1 races. I'm going to talk to him after this. Tommy gets past Sabi of the Haas right before Eau Rouge, but Sabi is going to have the DRS here. So if he can just stick it and make sure that he doesn't lose right away, that's so much overspeed. Very easily, Sabi makes the pass, but Tommy's not done fighting it, but now he is. As he backs out, letting Sabi have that position. Very nice, very clean. I wish we had more racing like that. These Red Bulls still very close to each other. Ari leading this train. Actually, it's Maxi who's leading this train as Ari follows behind. And then Fru, Zonode, My Little Pony, Steam Dan all on that train. Very long there. Little train in the back here of Rudy and Solarian. Merritt is in the back. Merritt pit onto the hards very quickly. Maxi Poo maybe struggling for late pace a little bit on those mediums, finding Ari catching up significantly. If Ari wants to, he can get past here, and he does, so Maxi Poo is going to lose out of position. Faru is now going to be looking at the back of Maxi Poo. Can he make the overtake as well, or is he going to have to stick behind? We watch Maxi Poo duck to the outside, inside. I don't know what that is because it's a chicane. The two go side by side. Fru makes it 3 wide. Ari loses the position to Fru. I think Fru had just had more traction. He gets through. Maxi Poo leads this train again. Fru's in third. Ari follows in 4th. Zono's able to get back in DRS in that 5th. My Little Pony is in 6th. Steam Dan is in 7th now. Sabi's still following the back of Schvex. He's going to have the DRS here if he can hold on to it. And going up, Hutfiz, the only person with a penalty so far. Solarian still following the back of Rudy. Fru makes the pass. Zono down into 6th, fighting with these Alpine. They both go off track, but the Alpine has to secede position because it was off track. Steam Dan looking at the back of this Alpine now. Alpine not able to really keep it on track as much as you would want. Jesus, I have the hiccups. Ari and Maxi go off track. Ari, so much speed, making the 1-2 pass on the Sauber. The two making a lot of contact. Ari goes off track. Zono barely gets by. Ari gave him a little bit of a squeeze there. Still giving a little bit of a squeeze. Zono being forced to stay back. If I'm Zono, I would report that because that's a little shifty from Ari. The Haas.
Ari will look at the Maxi. Oh,
Zono around the outside, wanting to make it stick. Past his team principal. Gets dusted. My Little Pony has found Ari. Or My Little Pony gets past. So now Ari's down into 6th from leading this train. The Red Bull and the Kick battling it out. So many battles happening in this train right now. Zono loses the position to Maxi. Ari continues to stick it. I don't know if that's a smart plan. Of Eau Rouge, Ari and the Haas.
They crash.
My Little Pony go side by side, hitting each other up Eau Rouge. Is there any damage? I don't see Ari with any damage. Does My Little Pony have damage? Merritt retires. Ari with a penalty. Just a 3-second. So now Faru is leading his teammate by quite a bit of a margin. Zono sitting in P3, Maxi in P4, and Steam Dan in P5. Steam Dan maybe struggling a little bit on these tires. We just watched him have a little bit of a slip. Yeah, it is kind of a dumb You can take Eau Rouge too wide if you know what you're doing, but those two apparently did not know what they were doing, so, yeah. Yeah, I did too, Santi. Like, when this league, I wouldn't trust anybody going too wide. Steam Dan really sniffing the back of Maxi Poo's, really wanting to make this happen. He's going to be all over him, making something happen. He tries to look for this clean air to make the move on this straight, but it doesn't just quite happen. But look how close Dan is. Almost going side by side, going into the bus stop chicane. Late on the brakes. Goes Steam Dan, but a little bit more traction for the kick Sauber, and they both go into the pits. Dan hits the cone, knocking it over. So My Little Pony is going to get back into 4th place. Ari follows behind with that penalty on the hard tires, still looking at the back of My Little Pony. These two have been battling for so long, and it's going to keep going on to the battle as they stood into Eau Rouge, but the two are not going side by side again because that was a big mistake last time. Ari looking at the behind of My Little Pony. Ari's going to have the DRS here, maybe having a little bit more battery. I can't see because of Ari's big fat fucking head. Not able to do it on this straight. But Sebi looking behind his teammate. The two Haas's sitting right next to each other. It seems to be a very big game of teammates being right next to each other. We got the two Red Bulls right next to each other, the two Haas's right next to each other, the two Ferraris right next to each other, and then the two Kicks right next to each other, and Tommy and Steam Dan aren't too far apart, just separated by the Kicks. And if Rudy put himself in last place, you could consider that to be a right next to each other. But Sven still leads, getting lap after lap, more and more pace. Fru holds behind, not able to gain any time, not able to look at Sven even. Zonode also just sitting in no man's land. My Little Pony still leads this train of Ari and Sebi. Sebi dripping out of this DRS though, so it's just going to be up to Ari, the only Haas able to look for an overtake at the moment. Ari is going to be so close. It's going to be late on the brakes for Ari. What can happen here? Sebi is back in DRS. A little bit of a snap for My Little Pony, but Ari is just late on the throttle. Another big snap for Ari.
Oh.
As Ari tries to get to the...
Sebi
oh.
spins it. Lost
oh.
it. Is that a safety car?
I think it's a safety car. I don't know why it's not popping up. But yeah, full safety car is out. So Sven, with that 11-second lead, is just going to lose it all because of the safety car. I don't know exactly who that was. It looks like Sebi. I think you were telling me maybe a Ferrari. Wow, so Hot Fizz drive through for spinning under safety car. Tommy is into the pits. Archie in the pits. Rudy in the pits. And Solarian in the pits. All people who just got lucky that the safety car happened before the pit lane. Rudy is going to make the pass on Solarian in the pits. Is he? But the pit lane's just not long enough for him to make the pass off of Archie. So these guys come out. Steam Dan is on the one lap old hards, looking at the back of Maxi Poo. And now him and his teammate are right next to each other. They swapped a little bit. Sebi is in this Ferrari sandwich, and Svex is in a Haas sandwich. You guys want to know my favorite part of my day, of Sundays?
We do.
It's when Tier 2 ends, because that means I don't have to deal with ASL for another week. Eating nuts and drinking Monster, that's my second favorite part, Santi. Actually, I haven't had... I had a Monster this morning, but I'm not drinking one right now, and I don't feel like cashews right now. Sven into the pits. Under Free is going to follow. Yes, he does. Zonode, is he going to follow his teammate, or is he going to take the on-track position? He's going to duck into the pits.
He will follow.
My Little Pony into the pits. Ari into the pits. Shvex into the pits. Sebi into the pits. Ari, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Hot Fizz.
Oh, that's gonna
to the
hurt
pits.
his race.
Maxi Poo. not into the pits. My favorite monster flavor is Rio Punch. So Sven is going to come out leading this race. I'm Fruzen holding in that P2. Zonode in P3. My Little Pony in P4. Ari with a 13-second penalty. I think. Yep, 13 seconds. Is in P5. Maxi Poo holds out in that P6 spot. Sphex P7. Steam Dan up into P8. Sabi P9. Hot Fizz P10. Tommy 11th, Archie 12th, Rudy and Solarian 13th and 14th respectively. Hot Fizz retires on the inters. Send it into the stewards and maybe we'll remove your penalty if you don't serve it, Ari. Oh wait, you're on the mediums. Oh no, you're gonna have to pit again. You're not gonna be able to. Bad apple monsters. I've never had a bad apple. Sorry, that was really mean, Ari. I'm sorry. I'm just in a bitchy mood, and I'm just projecting it onto you. That is really unfortunate, Ari. Can you remove pit lane pens? So we can if you don't serve it. Top 3 are Lewis, Hamilton, the white one, and the mango. So my top 3 is Rio Punch, Mango, and Tropical Punch. I really like the fruity flavors. I don't like the battery acid taste. Solarian gets a time penalty for track limits under the safety car.
And he misses an end plate.
Solarian?
Yeah.
Dude, what is up with Solarian, dude? Terrible. A lot of swerving happening here as the drivers try to warm up their tires. I think we should be in this lap. If not, I'm going to cry. Because the more laps... Zonode! What happened to Zonode? He got a penalty. Oh, the Aston having to dodge. What? 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 What?
What's Zonode doing in P8?
Dude, Tommy just dropped down a lot too. What happened there? Steam Dan just went from 8th to 6th under safety car. I'm sure he's not complaining, but like...
Zono had 10 seconds.
Alpine brake checked you? Yeah. Report it, Ari. Dude, yeah, I just... Like, it's these moments. It's these small things that just ruin this community. And this is why I love ASL with all my heart. This has been my league for the past couple of months. But if this driving isn't going to continue, I don't want to keep racing. Like, if we're going to continue to be dirty, if we're going to continue to hit people when trying to pass, if we're going to continue to just be retards, I don't want to keep racing. I'm sorry, but, like, that's the reality of it. Like, yeah. Well, that's just rough, Ari. It's just a tricky situation. Like, this league, man... Like I love ASL with all my heart. This is like I feel like this is my second home, and it pisses me off that this is the type of racing that we have to go through, guys. Why can't we race clean? So Sven will lead Fru, My Little Pony, Ari, Max, Dan, Sphex, Zonode, Sabi, Archie, Rudy, Solarian, Tommy. Guys, if I'm being honest, I really want to go play Batman Arkham Origins right now. I have no motivation to do this commentating right now. Because This league has been pissing me off more and more. Sven with the slow race start. What is this chaos? The pack has separated so much already. Sven still leads. Fru in P2, My Little Pony, Maxi, Ari, Zono, Svex, Dan, Sebi, Rudy, Solarian, Archie, and Tommy. Rudy up. Zono down. Steam Dan was lost a couple of positions. He can go to the end if he really truly wanted to.
3 seconds.
Zono with a 3 second. That's not going to help him. Proving Ari that he belongs in that tier 1. Fru racing with Sven now. Having a lot to prove here. Also, look at these camera differences, bro. My Little Pony, why can't we see your helmet? Archie, or Maxi Poo is ghosted. Are both kicks ghosted?
Archie's only ghosted.
Maxi's unghosted.
No, and Maxi was too. Maxi was too.
Ari gets past the kick sour with broken wing.
Oh, and they
what is this racing?
Oh,
yeah. What is this racing? Maxi out. I'm surprised Ari isn't out too. What the fuck? Like this is what I'm talking about, guys. Why this is what I'm talking about. No, that is not Ari's fault. That is not Ari's fault. Do not blame that on Ari. Do not blame that on Ari. Do not blame that on Ari. I don't believe that was Ari's fault. It might have been. I don't blame that on Ari. I think that was all Maxi's. I'm sorry. I think it was Maxi.
Yours will have a review on that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull this shit up, bro. I don't care. Dami, you're gonna have to tell me if anything happens under safety car, because I'm looking back at this clip.
Rudy is in the pit lane. Zonad is in the pit lane. Sabi is in the pit lane, and Solarian is in the pit lane. Tommy is in pit lane. Archie is in pit lane, and Ari is in pit lane. And Steam Dan is in P4.
Can I not like rewind stream while it's live?
I think you can. You can rewind the streams.
Someone clip that, bro. Why didn't someone clip that? If I clip, is it gonna clip what I just opened? Oh, look, we can watch. Okay. This is it, guys. We're watching this. So, Ari and Maxi, I think, are like locked right here. Watching them go. Ari makes a tap, and then Maxi. This is a hard one to judge. I don't have a great POV of it. This one's a really hard one to judge. Because I think Ari right here taps his wheel, causing him to spin. This one's a terrible one to judge from this POV. I think it might be on Ari. I'm sorry. I think I'm looking at this. I'm watching. He does give you a heavy squeeze here. But I think the initial... Look how much space he has! Max? Are you retarded, Max? Max, are you blind? Max, are you actually blind? Max, are you actually blind? Like, this is a sincere question. Max, this is a sincere question, Max. Max says, this is a sincere question. Are you blind? Okay, I thought you were talking about here. And I was like, are you fucking blind? Because there is zero room right here. Yeah, he has all that room. I think this is on Ari. He is... Yeah, Ari, I'm sorry. Look, you have so much room right here, Ari. And even right here, Ari, so much room. That's... Sorry, Ari. I'm so sorry, Ari. Looking back, that's totally on Ari. That 100% is on Ari. Sven still leads. Fru's in P2. My Little Pony in P3. Steam Dan finds himself up into P4. Svex in P5, Sabi in P6, Solarian P7, Rudy Crazy Legs finds himself in the points for the first time since the start of the race in P8. Zono finds himself in the worst position of the race so far in P9. Archie on the softs in P10, Tommy on P11, and Ari in the very back. Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to actual, like, it's going to come down to how the POVs look. I think that's going to be the greatest. Yeah, we're not going to argue about it. We're not going to argue it here, guys. Can we not argue it here? Stewards will look at it, and they'll decide something. Ari with another 10 seconds.
And Ari, another 10
seconds. Ari, I'm sorry, Ari. Ari's not having a day. Ari's not having a day. I'm sorry, Ari. I get it. I'm having a day too. Don't worry, Ari. My day is not as bad as yours, but I didn't even want to show Ari. Ari, I'm sorry, Ari. Ari, I just want to let you know you are very much appreciated in ASL. So safety car will be in this lap. We'll return with 9 laps of, wait, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wait, what? What am I mathing? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 9 laps. I always have to count it out in my head. So Sven will lead the restart again, then Fru, Dan, My Little Pony, Dan, Svex, Sabi, Solarian, Rudy, Zonode, Archie, Tommy, Ari. Rudy with a penalty. Sven very quick off the line, and Fru reacts very nicely. My Little Pony maybe sleeping a little bit. Almost at a DRS before even the first corner. Dan right behind My Little Pony. Pony does drop out of DRS, but Dan is going to have 7 more laps than everybody else. I don't know what I'm saying here. He has 7 lap old hards. That's what I meant to say. So his tires may not go the way. I think you can get away with 12 laps on the hards, and he just doesn't have it. Solarian in that P5. Rudy up into P6. Looking at the back of Solarian. Rudy probably getting another warning there. That was very rough over those curbs. Rudy maybe struggling on these tires. Maybe very cold. It didn't warm him up under the safety cars to be in that P7. Zonode looking for an overtake but doesn't get it. This Haas, very defensive. Zonode making another move here. This is where we saw the major incident happen. Zonode runs wide. Svex. And then Tommy gets past Archie on the softs. Ari is still hanging out on the back. Sven already broken DRS off of Fru. Fru is struggling. My Little Pony wants that DRS, doesn't get it right now, is going to drop out. Dan isn't going to get the DRS, but he's going to keep pushing, so I think he is. That's 9/10. So if he can just hold pace for a little longer, if his wings are low enough, he should have it. It's going to be really close, though. If he doesn't get it, which he doesn't, Dan does not get the DRS. He's not going to be able to look for a podium right now. If I'm Dan, I would think about pitting soon. Pit onto these mediums, Dan. Switch early, get the undercut going, Dan, but that's just me. Solarian holds that into P5, Zone it up into P6. Rudy, what has happened to Sabi? Sabi, I feel like, has lost 20 positions on that one little quarter. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy from the Ferrari, and Rudy. Svex gets by. Rudy doesn't get the DRS here, though, but I think Svex will, too. From Zonode up ahead in that P6, Rudy and Svex ghosted, so I don't know what's happening. Yeah, dude, guys, I don't get what we're doing. This league is pissing me off more and more. Ari up into 11th. Archie down. Specs holding on to that points position, that P9, or that P10, sorry. Tommy looks in that P9. This Sabi guy lagging all over the place. It was clean racing, but now it's not, dude. Like, there has been some clean racing, but now it's not.
Wow.
A little bit of a touch there. Sabi goes wide. Tommy goes through. Specs goes through. Sabi is down with his teammate and loses the position to his teammate. I would rather be at the bottom of T1. I would rather be in the fucking upper end of T1 because those people are clean. Like, I had a nice race with Dami.
I'm pro.
Dude, yeah, Steam Dan.
Position.
I don't know what happened to Fru. He doesn't have nothing going on, so I don't know. Steam Dan is in that P3 looking at this podium. Dan, pit soon, buddy. If you want to hold on to it, pit soon. Solarian gets through Zonode. Zonode's ghosted for some reason. Unghosted now. Does Zonode have damage? Does his teammate have damage? These are the questions on my mind. I don't think either of them do. Does Rudy have damage? No. Look at this. Tommy tries to go for an aggressive overtake. Doesn't get it off of Rudy, though. Rudy has had experience going too wide through that corner as he had to fight with Svex a little bit. So he knows what to do now. Rudy on the back of these Red Bulls. This long train is being led by Solarian. Zonode wanting to make something here. The harder compounded tires gonna go longer. Around the outside. Oh, cuts onto the outside of the track. Solarian gets by.
And they touch and they're
Dude.
They're involved.
What are we doing, guys? Another safety car.
This is just funny.
I'm not having fun commentating this. Why can't we race clean? 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 Zonode, don't even, Zonode. You went off track. You came back on dirty. I'm 90% sure that's what happened.
Well, Steam then now have a free pit stop.
This, like, I don't get, like, what goes through some people's minds. Is it just the fact that you want to get the best position possible, or is it the fact that, like, you just don't know how to race? Because, like, I'm at a point where I just don't know how to fix it. Like, are you practicing enough? Are you practicing racing enough? Are you one of those people that just sits in fucking time trial all day? So watch this. So Zonode goes off. Solarian, look, Solarian, this is not Solarian's fault. Like, Zonode, you have to succeed that position. If you go off track, it's up to you to not come on track like a dickhole. You came on track like a dickhole, Zonode. That's on you. Yeah, Zonode into the pits, fitting the medium tires. The old medium tires, it seems like, being held in the pits for a little bit for his wing. Ari also in the pits, serving his penalty and getting a new wing. But, okay, but here's the thing. Solarian's allowed to do whatever he wants there. Because Zonode's off track. Zonode should have succeeded that position 9 times out of 10. This, like, I'm so done. Rudy's in second now. So it could be a big race for McLaren. These two are championship rivals, though. This is going to be a big win for Sven and a big podium for Rudy if they can hold this out. My Little Pony sits behind Sabi in 4th. Dan finding himself in P5 after that pit stop. On the fresh mediums, Fru in P6, Fex in P7, Tommy in P8, Archie P9, Zona in P10, Ari in P11. Yeah, that was unsafe re-entry by Zonode 9 times out of 10. I just like I don't like genuine question, okay? I'm not like I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in this. Are people not practicing racing side by side? Or do people just not care? Because that is my genuine question. Because, like, week after week, we have the same problems. And I just... Are people practicing time trial only? Yeah. Both tiers need some work. I don't know how we can stop it. I think the only way to do it is by, like, having a quote-unquote driving test. Where, like, we do an open lobby... and you need to stick side by side with someone throughout the whole lap to be allowed in the league or what. Because, like, I swear, week after week, it's the same issues. It's always, like, the same couple of people who just don't know what they're doing. And it's just, I'm getting to a point where this just isn't fun anymore. I love racing, okay? But when I am trying to do a league race and I'm getting murdered because some 12-year-old kid doesn't realize that he needs to leave space, it's just not fun. And that's just the sad reality of this. Here are the penalties. Rudy has a 3-second, Sabi has a 3-second, Zoned has a 3-second, and Ari has a 3-second. We're going to have 4 laps of racing. Okay, but you know what I mean, Dr. Law. I'm just saying. Like, I love being fast because I know that these fast guys are going to leave the room. Like, Dami, like, I know Dami's a dirty driver, but I know that he's going to leave me the room if he wants. Right, Dami?
Yeah.
Like, me and you had a little battle. Me and you had a little battle, and it was so clean.
I tried.
I don't know. It's just same shit, different week, and it's getting so tiring. Sven trying desperately to warm up his tires. Rudy, his teammate, watching this maniac drive all over the place. Yeah, Tommy on the softs, he's going to struggle for pace come these final 2 laps. I think the first 2 laps he's going to be really good with pace, and then from there he's just going to fall. Archie, and then Zonod and Ari. All comes down to how Rudy reacts to Sven, if he can stay with his teammate or not. If they are in VC, I hope Sven is like, I'm going now. Sven around the outside. These two are very close to each other, and off the grid goes. Oh, bro, My Little Pony caught sleeping. Already 8/10 back from Rudy. Goes a little bit deep, isn't able to do anything. Dan gets a position off of Fru, Zoned off a position of the ghosted Archie, who has been AI the whole race. Rudy already out of the DRS of Sven, and My Little Pony is already all over Rudy. Sabi is there too. Steam Dan on the back of Sabi, putting so much pressure onto the Haas. Aston gets by, making a big statement for Aston. Watch this. This driving, look at this battle, look at the Alpine and Rudy go!
Oh, Serbian, I'm through.
Oh, another crash. Oh, Sebi and I'm through. 10th and 11th, Ari fighting with the kick, gets passed on to looking for I'm so sorry. Ari, I don't know why. I always want to say her for Ari, because I feel like Ari is such a feminine name. Like, no offense to you, Ari. It's genuinely nothing to you. I think I just have a stupid brain. Sven still leads. Rudy is in P2, doing God's work for his teammate, defending off of My Little Pony. My Little Pony looking for a good run. Rudy's tires are going to be in puncture territory by the end of this race. It's going to be very close to see if he gets one. Dan looking for a podium now. Can he make it past the Alpine and Rudy? If Rudy gets a puncture here, he's going to have the podium. If Rudy can't pull away, he's going to have a podium. If Rudy gets another penalty, he's going to have a podium. Dan, if your money is on Dan for a podium, your money is probably going to get through. Ghosts through the Alpine. The two are racing so much. But Dan has to back out of it. Doesn't want to go too wide up Eau Rouge. Dan lagging like crazy. Following these two, he's going to have the DRS. My Little Pony's going to have the DRS. Rudy's going to have nothing except for ERS, but he doesn't have any of that either. So Dan's going to look at Rudy now. At the McLaren on the 9-lap old mediums, they have to make it another 3 laps. Can Rudy do it? It's going to be close. Dan still pushing. That gap is close. Fex drops out of DRS, and now Dan's just looking pretty on this podium. I called it back on Talking with Toasty. I said we were going to see a Steam Dan podium, and I think we are going to see that play out. Fex in that P5 Zona looking to get back into the top 5 position, but that penalty isn't going to do him any favors. Ari sits behind his driver. Fru makes the back of that, making that a Haas sandwich between the two pieces of bread, that being the Red Bulls. Archie sits in P9. Tommy looking to pass Rudy with another time penalty. So as it stands, if we go to leader, he's going to lose so many positions. He's going to lose off of Dan. He's going to lose off of Specs, and he might lose off of Zonode. And maybe even Ari if he's not careful. These so many battles happening up ahead as we're trying to watch and wait. Who comes through on top? That's going to be my question. Dan still on the back of Rudy. My Little Pony has pulled away, so Rudy's not going to have any DRS here. Specs in that P5. Zona's in P6 with that penalty. Faru getting past Ari here. Ari with that time penalty isn't going to be able to make the move anyways. Dan gets past Rudy. Dan puts himself in that P3 spot. Now Specs looks on the back of this McLaren. What can Specs do? Oh, what was that? He has a Red Bull inside of him. Zonode is inside of Specs. Zonode around. The two still inside of each other. Does Rudy have a puncture or his tire's dead? Rudy, so slow throughout this sector, loses. Fighting this Red Bull of Zonode. The two battling side by side. Rudy wanted this position. Rudy not going to have it down into P6. Rudy, his teammate in P1, I think his teammate's going to run away with the championship lead right now, unless Rudy can find himself up more positions, but Fru falling behind, he's going to get that position. Ari's going to get the position. Tommy's not going to get the position. So many positions going to be lost for Rudy if he can't keep it up. I don't know what's going to happen there, but Dan looking very good for a podium. I might have just cursed him, though. I don't know. Specs holding that P4 Zonode. Fru making it past Rudy. Now it's just Ari. Ari in the Haas. Ari having such a bad day. Can he make it past Rudy to put himself in that P7? Yes, he can. The two go battling side by side through bus stop chicane. A little bit of a touchy touch there. But rubbing is racing after all if you're careful. Sebi with a time penalty. That's not going to help him in that very backpack. But he's going to get points anyways because Archie has been ghosted the whole race. So Ari still falling behind Rudy. Still going to get this possession up into P7. But I'm sure Rudy or Ari wanted more than that. I'm sure Rudy wanted more than that. Fru looking at the back of his teammate. He's going to get position off of his teammate as it stands. Zonode so close to the Ferrari. He gets past Zonode up into that P4. Specs getting in that position because of time penalties. But here comes Fru making it a 4-5 for Red Bull. The Red Bull that have been in shambles for so long, finding themselves back into the top 5. Specs over the curb, bumping over a little bit. Fru making it past Zonode. Probably team owner Zonode. looking at the back of his teammate. Is there going to get a break here? Specs breaking out of the DRS. Can Zono make 2 seconds off his Specs in this lap, or is he going to get the position lost? Ari looking at the back of the Ferrari. Ari looking at a comfortable P7 right now, but Rudy's going to lose out so many positions because he has another time penalty. Sabi finally makes it past Archie. So Rudy, as it stands, is going to drop down into P9. Rudy, the biggest freaking time penalty magnet, apparently. But we watch as Sven goes through bus stop chicane and wins another Grand Prix, starting in Miami and now dominating throughout the whole season. Sven puts himself in that P1. My Little Pony, reserving for Alpine, comes home with a win. Steam Dan, first ever podium, comes home with it. Fru in that P4 for Red Bull. Zono takes home a P5. Specs takes home Zono's P5, Zono in P6, Ari in P7, Tommy P8, Rudy P9, and Rudy drops down to P10. Sebi in that P11, but Archie's going to lose out on the position because he's been ghosted, so it's going to be a P9 for Rudy and P10 for Sebi. What a race. Oh, wow.
Really a lot of chaos in this race. There's definitely some work to do.
So, we do not have a cleanest driver, apparently. Everyone was dirty. Sven takes home, another Grand Prix win. After losing out so much, he wants it so bad, this driver's championship. I think he's going to lead it now. My Little Pony 69XX comes home with a great podium for Alpine for reserving. Steam Dan, first podium today. I think he might be my driver of the day from P8 up into P3. I think the community might have different words, though. I'm not the whole community. Through into P4. Specs, maybe going to have another driver of the day. 15th to 5. Wow, Specs, great points for that Ferrari Red Bull. Zonoed in that P6. Ari in P7 having a terrible race, but maybe able to recover some of it. Tommy in P8 for Aston. Kick Archie in P9. Rudy actually gets that position. And P9, Sabi in P10. Solarian, Maxi, Hotfizz, and Merritt all had to retire. This has been your Belgium Grand Prix for T2. I have been your host, Toasty Evan Brett, and I have been joined by my once co-host, Formula Domi. I thank you all for watching. I have to go do steward stuff now, so does Domi. I will be back for round 14 at Zandvoort next week. I wish you all a great week, and I can't wait to be back with you next time. See you all later.